listener. My name is Ryan Doze. I am your host here on Across the Bifrost for this episode we're calling number 1, Becoming Thor, and our Loki preview. We have got a great fun show planned for you today. I'm really excited to get to share this content, this episode with you. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you again for being a part of the show. You listening is you being a part of this show. We appreciate it. We are very grateful for you doing that. But the bulk of our show today, here's what we got planned for you. We have a great interview that I was able to do with a Chicago-based Thor cosplayer. He's going to share his story, why he got into cosplay, and what keeps him going in his experience with getting to do charity work and getting to work with kids. It's going to be a great interview that I'm sure you will enjoy. And then be sure to stick around to the end. At the end, I'm bringing on another guest to talk all about Disney Plus's Loki, coming out in just a matter of days at the time of this recording. We go into our hopes for the series, what we want to see more of. It is going to be a good time for you to just look ahead to what I believe will be the blockbuster show of the summer. I am super excited for Loki. I'm super excited for you to enjoy this interview, and I hope that you have a great time listening to this episode. I will say we do have a little bit of an audio issue with the interview with Becoming Thor. I hope you can get past that and just enjoy this guy's story. I know I did when we were able to talk, and he's become a good acquaintance of mine through social media. So without further ado, we'll get to the episode. I hope you enjoy all of it. We'll have some details at the end on how you can engage with the show. Until then, enjoy our discussion. Okay, welcome everybody to really the first interview that I get to do on Across the Bifrost. Is a really exciting experience that we get to take part in together. I have on the other line a Thor cosplayer that I follow on Instagram at Becoming Thor. I really enjoy him, and I thought I would share him with you guys on the podcast. And first, I'm just going to ask you, man, introduce yourself. Who is the man behind the cosplay?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I've been cosplaying primarily as Thor since the early fall of 2019, right before the pandemic started. I didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to do it, but I really resonated with the character, and I've been having fun doing it ever since.
So, where in the 9 realms do you call home? Where are you doing? Where's your base of operations?
I live in the Chicago area, actually.
Okay. And what do you do? What do you do during the day when you're not wanting to make this impact as this fictional character that we all appreciate and love? What are you doing on the other side of life?
I'm actually a marketing person. I'm the director of public outreach and communications for a small city, which is one of the Chicago suburbs.
Awesome.
So I handle all of our communications and community programming.
So I thought about this the other day when I was looking at some of your awesome photography. Like, do the people you work with know that this is like part of your life?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They know it. They encourage it. My boss absolutely loves it. And it actually started with my job.
Okay.
And I can get into that if you like.
Absolutely, man. That would be great.
So in the summer of 19, well, let me start. I'm actually in charge of, like I said, public events and things. So we were having an outdoor movie showing of one of the Avengers movies. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Endgame or Infinity War. I want to say it was Infinity War at that time. And I had the idea to get a bunch of performers to play the Avengers to come meet the kids before the movie. And every single company that I called didn't have a Thor. And so I'm calling around, and nobody says that they have a Thor. Nobody says that they have anybody even big enough to, portray Thor. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'll just do it myself. So I got a Halloween costume and I put it on, and I did it that night. I joined the other performers that I'd hired, and I just had a good time. And I had all these kids coming up to me, telling me that Thor was their favorite character, telling me about how, they had Thor action figures at home and they loved to do Thor's lightning moves in their video games. And I had this one little boy that I swear he came up to me about 4 times throughout the night, and he just was so excited to meet Thor. And that is why I started cosplaying, because I knew that there were groups out there that did it just for kids. And that was just the spark that lit the fire in me. And I just decided right then and there that I wanted to keep doing it. I wanted to visit hospitals. I wanted to do it for kids and have them, get to meet Thor. So
I'll tell you what, if I would have been like a 6 or 7 year old at that event, I would have been it was like Spider-Man, who cares? Iron Man, whatever, seen him. But like to see Thor come to life must have been crazy, because like Thor can't hide behind a mask. Like you can't just be a dude in a suit. Like, so you say like you went and got a Halloween costume to pull this off. What was it like being there that first night, and like kids are already associating you with that character, and you hadn't even like really prepared for it yet?
I hadn't, and it was so funny because I just started getting out there. I hadn't practiced the silly accent, the deep British, almost, well, not really British, but Asgardian accent, or anything like that. But now it comes second nature. I can stay in character for hours at events and things. But no, it just came out of me. I don't know where it came from. It was awesome though. And it was just so cool to resonate with the kids like that. I remember when I was a kid meeting He-Man at Toys R Us.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember, being taken to meet Spider-Man at the department stores and things like that. These are memories that I still have 30 years later. So to be able to do that for kids is just such an incredible feeling. And that's how I felt that night. And that's the feeling that I live by. And that's why I keep doing it. I love doing the Instagram stuff. I love, doing photo shoots and things like that. But for me, it's all about the kids.
So was there anything, so as you're calling around to these places and you're like, dude, I need a Thor now, that'd be great, and they don't have it, was there anything before this crisis that thrust you into the role? Was there anything that resonated? Was there anything about Thor that resonated with you before you started cosplaying as him?
My only real experience with Thor before that was probably the movies, and he was my favorite Avenger to begin with. I always enjoyed him.
Of course.
He's super fun. But I would say he's very similar to, He-Man. There's not a whole lot of differences. And I grew up with He-Man. So, this giant guy who's a prince and gets power from lightning and all that stuff, it's very similar to that. So it's kind of what I grew up with.
It's the power of Grayskull, man.
Exactly. Well, I'm 42, so I grew up in the 80s, and that was my thing, and it just never went away. I'm still just a big kid. I still have all my He-Man toys from when I was a kid, and many that I've collected as an adult too. But no, I've really appreciated and grown to love and learn more about Thor as a character since I've started doing this. I think that obviously I knew the movies and the history that the MCU developed for him, but now I've sort of been reading the comics and going back and learning as much about him as I can. And he's still he's definitely my favorite Avenger, even more so now.
Yeah, I think so. I originally got into the character because of Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of him in that first movie, and I was a big fantasy fan. Like Lord of the Rings was my thing, and and seeing that meld with superheroes, I was like, oh my gosh, like why doesn't everybody love this movie? And then when he gets into Avengers, I'm just like, I'm sorry, dude. Like him and Iron Man fighting in the first Avengers movie, I'm like, this fight is stupid. Like, why are we even doing this? When you transition from like doing it that one time and then being like, okay, I think I could do this. What did it take? What did it take to do it well? Because like there's a ton of guys that could probably throw on a Halloween costume and kind of phone it in, but like I believe you do it well.
Well, thank you. Well, immediately I went and I ordered a better costume. Obviously. And then I went to my local convention here. It was a Wizard World. And I went looking for any types of charity groups that do this kind of thing. And I found one. I didn't find them that day, but I started doing some searches on the word cosplay, C-A-U-S-E, play. And I found that there's a big charity group here in Chicago, but since then I've gotten hooked up with many charity groups. So I basically go wherever I'm needed. I've started my own charity groups here with some friends. I work with different groups in different states. I'm a very active member with League of Enchantment out of Michigan.
I follow them too. They're great.
Yeah, we're actually talking about the potential for expanding the league. I've really been involved with that. I'm not a board member, but they've kind of brought me into the old kind of like a friend of the family almost. But I love working with them. They're great people. And I've made great friends through that group and other groups. So it's but truly, I'm a cosplayer. I do it for charities as much as I can. I do it with Make-A-Wish. Anytime that I can, I'll visit a hospital. I coordinate hospital visits on my own. It's really great when you're visiting a kid in the hospital and they turn to their mom and they say, "This is the best day of my life." And literally they're in a hospital bed. Like, can you believe that? Like,
yeah.
But you give them, a couple minutes of joy, and that's what it's all about, man.
So I can imagine they truly, like, in that moment, they believe every bit of it.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. But like I said, the character was almost inside of me from day one. Like I started doing the voice organically. It just came out of me. I don't know where it came from, but it was there. But like every cosplayer, I am constantly, upgrading my pieces. I'm buying better gauntlets, or I'm buying a different costume. And I work with some terrific artists. And, there's a good friend of mine here in Chicago who actually made one of my costumes for me. She is a professional costume designer, and she worked for the theater groups in Chicago as a professional. So her work is absolutely amazing. Can I give her a shout out?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Her Instagram is at Paisley and Glue, and she's just fantastic and just a wonderful person. So if you're looking for a high quality commission, she's the one to ask.
So yeah, go follow at Paisley and Glue if you're listening to this right now. And the League of Enchantment is awesome too. I've seen you've just recently been posting this series of almost a duet kind of pictures with a Valkyrie cosplayer who those are phenomenal, man. Like,
we did a Ragnarok shoot just a couple weeks ago. So we had Loki, we had an Odin, we had two Hellas and a Valkyrie, and all of these are just fantastic cosplayers that look like they stepped right out of the movie. So I'm actually looking at them and thinking that I'm the one that's the imposter there.
and dude, like, you're the headliner. You got it. Like, you're the guy they all come to see. Man,
it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Whoever that is doing the Valkyrie, I would love to get her on this podcast. I mean, she look. I mean, Tessa Thompson and her. I mean, it almost indistinguishable.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Her name is, I won't give away her real name in case she wants to keep it covered, but her Instagram is Quick Cosplay with a K.
Yes.
So she's easy. Or you can find her, if you go to mine and look at the photo of her, she's tagged in that.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
All these people, they're playing like the villains. So there was a moment when Hela was like choking me, but I'm laying there kind of laughing because this is my friend who's doing it, and she's just the sweetest person, and so is Val. The Quick Cosplay, she's just a lovely person, just totally dedicated to her family and kids. But then she's wearing this Valkyrie costume, and she looks like this, total badass.
Oh gosh, yes. See, like, it's so crazy because like I've been to a few Comic-Cons, and I'm just like, man, what? Like, if I see like a really legit cosplay, what does that person do for a living? like I'll see like I remember once I saw Captain America that just blew my mind. Like, this guy was just looked like Chris Evans, or like he stepped out of a comic book. I'm like, dude, bro, what do you do for a living? Like, do you do this for a living? So with you knowing all these people, I think, and I'm an appreciator. I would say cosplay is art. I'm not on the inside. So when you guys devote yourselves to these roles, what does that mean to you? Like, that you put in hard work to become this character. I mean, literally becoming Thor. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's a little bit different for me. Most of my friends, they are not as dedicated to one particular character as I am. I just found that this character fit me like a glove. It just worked so well for me. I don't really have a desire to do a whole lot of other characters. I've done a couple, here and there just for fun, or like one-time events or something. But for me, the whole reason I chose the name Becoming Thor is because it was a transformation of my life. It was a transformation of my body. It was a transformation of my personality. I live by the mantra now that I wear the cape, I wear the hero, so I need to act like the hero too. And it just affects every aspect of my life. I try to be kind. I try to be nice. I try to be the hero. So it's really fitting that the tagline and the motto of A League of Enchantment is actually very similar. It's be the hero someone sees today, and that really resonates with me. That we are role models for kids. They look up to us, so it's very important that we act that way. So that was what becoming Thor means. It's not anything like to be full of myself or anything. It's just really been a personal journey for me. I actually, it started long before I even thought about cosplay. I started getting into health and fitness and lost a lot of weight and things like that. So, but yeah, it's just been a total life transformation. I'm really curious about when you say you had to change your nutrition and your fitness. Like, what was that devotion like to really amp it up? I mean, like, if you see on Instagram or like on the internet, like someone like Chris Hemsworth, I mean, that's his life. And you're trying to capture that feeling for the people that you are visiting and doing charity work for. How did you transition your life? Well, I was overweight for 40 years. I weighed 350 pounds at one point, and I was unhappy with myself. And so I actually started the diet and fitness routine about a year before I even considered cosplay. At that point in my life, I never would have even thought about it, which I know is not the right way to think. I'm a big proponent of anybody can cosplay any character that they want, no matter their shape, color, size. It's all about having fun. Yeah. But for me, that had all begun long before, the Thor thing started. So that's kind of where I was at with that. So almost like, I mean, getting to play Thor was kind of a cherry on top. It really was. And I'm not going to say that, being 6'6" and muscular and stuff doesn't hurt, but it certainly is not it was not part of the original plan. Let me put it that way, I guess. So it's just kind of like a bonus, I guess.
Are you a legit 6'6", by the way?
I am, yeah.
Good. Jeez, you must tower over kids. Like
I do. In fact, sometimes they're a little scared of Thor, so it helps when there's when there's somebody else to say, "Oh, you want to meet my friend Thor?" And they're like, "Uh-huh."
I wasn't so sure about him at first, but now that you say this, like, well, yeah, we'll go meet Thor.
But no, it's important that we get down on our knees and get down to their level a little bit.
Yeah.
And stuff. So like a lot of my pictures when I'm with kids, I'm kneeling down or something like that. Because yeah, I'm definitely at least 7 feet tall with the boots and the helmet on and stuff. So I do tower over pretty much everybody.
Well, man, I really appreciate you sharing the transformation part of it, because that being someone who's new to your account, like, that's something I didn't know. And now, like, it makes me appreciate the devotion really to make this character come alive, because it feels like, you correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like it comes from a place of genuine just love for others and a love for making an impact with this this thing that you're fortunate enough to add to, like this character and this mythos.
Completely. I consider it a privilege that I get to do this all the time. I am absolutely honored that the kids believe that I actually am Thor and that it works. And I've been very lucky in the cosplay community too, in that I haven't had any of the negative feedback that I know a lot of cosplayers get. I think it's unfortunate that they do get that kind of pushback. Because like I said, I really preach positivity. I think it's important that people have the freedom and ability to be whatever character they want to be. And it doesn't matter if they look like that character or not. I know some people have said that I have a somewhat of a resemblance to Chris Hemsworth, but I don't go by that. I think that I just try to be the best Thor that I can be.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Thor has looked different throughout the years, man. I mean, it's crazy though, because Chris Hemsworth really doesn't look like the original Thor. Like,
No, he doesn't. And I think I patterned my Thor a little bit more after the comic version, especially when I wear the more comic-inspired suits and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the fact that, we're about the same size is a bonus as far as the comic character that goes anyway.
So just like the nerd in me has got to ask, do you have a costume that more like is in the vibe of like that Stan Lee, Jack Kirby era Journey into Mystery? Like, do you have that?
No, I don't have the original. I think that what I try to do is every time that I put a costume, I try to make it look as realistic as possible. And I just don't think that kids see that particular costume as like a realistic superhero anymore.
Oh, no, not at all.
It's really hard. I think it would be really hard to pull that one off and be believable. You'd look like a comic character, I think, if you're wearing that one. But
you would look like a cartoon.
I do have that. Yeah, I do have that helmet because he's worn that in more modern costumes too. But I prefer the one that I wear most of the time, which is the shiny silver one that's sort of inspired by the movie, but kind of my own take on it a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. Do you have or maybe you have aspirations for the Ragnarok, like gladiator style, that kind of costume?
I've done I have that one.
Okay.
See, the thing is, I don't go for screen accuracy with my cosplay. I go for believability for kids. So and I've never had a kid walk up to me and be like, "Well, you're not the real Thor." It's usually just the opposite. But I know that there are cosplayers that would look at me and be like, "Well, he doesn't even have the braid in his hair this time," because I don't always put it in because it comes out, and it's not. this part of the armor has 4 rivets and your gauntlets aren't perfect and all that. And I don't care about any of that stuff. I just care about looking like Thor.
Yeah.
So I do have a Ragnarok suit. Believe it or not, it was just a thing I got on Amazon. It was gifted to me actually by a friend, but it was really only like $150 suit. So that's what I wear a lot of times. But yeah, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I don't do the short-haired Thor very often unless I'm going to a particular event where he's needed, because then I actually naturally have red hair, so then I have to like put this brown spray in my hair and stuff, and I don't really care for doing that. So I like the long-haired version the best. That's the one that really resonates with me, and the one that I think I look like the most when I put that version on.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely eye-catching because this is not at all to discredit or put down anybody else's interpretation of the character. When I was scrolling through, I was just like, oh, this guy, I got a stack of Thor comics over here that I could flip open right next to this video and be like, nope, that's pretty spot on. I was just flipping through my Jason Aaron run of Thor the other day, and I was like, man, this is going to be so weird talking to a comic book character.
I don't really, I don't have the wig on, and I don't have the costume on, so just me here. But yeah, I think you're right. I really like what you're touching on, that everybody kind of brings something else to the character. You can never have enough cosplayers doing the same character, and I always encourage people to cosplay Thor, whether they feel that they look like him or not. I always say, what my saying is, all Thors are worthy. And I try to really encourage anybody that loves Thor to pursue that. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of lucky in that I do physically resemble him a little bit. But beyond that, I think, it's all about the love for the character.
First of all, you got to put "All Thors are worthy" on a T-shirt somewhere, and just make a friggin' mint with that idea. Really, the reason why I wanted to start Across the Bifrost was to celebrate this great character and the world that he comes from. Because sometimes I think people view this character as he's a god. He's a god in the comics, and he's from this other world, and how could he relate with us? And I think a lot of us do struggle with this idea of am I worthy of anything? And I just love that all Thors are worthy. That is fantastic, man.
And the fun thing about Thor that I really like is that, he is from this other world. So a lot of times when I'm portraying him, just having him kind of bumble around confused and surprised by things is just a ton of fun. Especially when I'm talking to a kid and they're wearing a Thor t-shirt or something like that. Thor gets so excited by that because he's just absolutely astounded, because how is this kid wearing him on their shirt? That's just amazing. But he just gets so excited for everything.
Speaking of t-shirts and things like that with Thor emblazoned upon them, I wanted to ask you just some quick hitter questions about your connection with the fandom itself. Not so much the cosplay part of it, but what is your of the Thor memorabilia you own? Because I can imagine you have a little bit. What is your favorite piece of Thor merch that you own?
It's really hard for me because there's so many things. I could talk about every piece that I own for 10 minutes, but I've been very lucky in that I've had fans send me stuff from all over the world. I've had moms send me stuff. So everything and I've had friends give me stuff. So anything that I am given is just incredibly special to me. And I actually have a bookshelf in my house where I display all of it. And, some of them are little figurines. Some of them are, one mom made me a like a crocheted doll of Thor, which is really cute.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. I'm looking at it right now, actually. But it's just the meaning behind it. I obviously buy stuff on my own too. I'm a big action figure collector, so I love getting whenever they come out with a new Thor figure. I always want to pick that up. Like I'm really fond of the big 12-inch Marvel Legends one. It's really superposable and stuff.
Yes.
It's a few years old, but I just picked it up a couple of days ago, so I really like that one. And also because that one looks like me, so it's fun to pose.
It's just like, yeah. So weird thing, Marvel made an action figure of me. Like, they move over, Chris. Like, I do see in the back. I gotta say this. I say this only out of like insane jealousy. I do see the handle of a familiar hammer in the back.
Yeah. This is my metal Mjolnir. Actually, it weighs about I would say 13 pounds or so.
Okay.
It's aluminum, and this is the one that I always take with me when I visit kids, because when they try to hold it, they feel that it has some real weight to it. So
yeah,
like I said, I'm all about making this as real as possible for them. I have lighter ones that I take on photo shoots and stuff, and I have the one that lights up and makes sounds and all that. But this is the special one that the kids get to try to hold and things like that.
You can't exactly just grab one off the shelf at Target and take that,
No, it has to feel like the real deal. And I learned a technique actually from the Disneyland Thor. Right before I started all this, I actually went to like a Marvel Avengers overnight party that they were having, and you could meet all the characters, and it was like I think they called it Heroes Assemble or something like that. Sweet. And it went all night long, and they had all the characters out, and so obviously I stood in line to meet Thor, and I hadn't quite decided that I was going to do this at that point, but I was definitely considering it and studying him and stuff. And what I learned from him is that no matter who goes up to him, he always keeps one hand on the hammer.
Okay.
So that's what I've always done, so that the kids, they can hold it, but I hold it too, so that the illusion is still there.
Okay, it's to preserve the connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So you mentioned earlier that you have in some of your groups that you're a part of and some of the work you've been able to do, you're often paired up with villains. So, I mean, obviously you're the hero, you're the headliner. That's, pretty established. Do you have a favorite Thor villain?
Who doesn't love Loki? I mean, Loki is awesome. He's hilarious, and he's got probably a bigger fan base than Thor does at this point. I know that at least in the MCU, I think his character is a little bit more popular than Thor. But
isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I've worked. Well, he's fun. He gets to be the bad guy. He gets to have all the fun. He gets to play all the tricks on people. So I don't blame him. Thor is pretty. He's pretty black and white, but Loki gets to have all the fun and be that gray area character where he's kind of a villain, but he's also kind of a good guy sometimes. But yeah, I've worked with some awesome Lokis and made some friends with them along the way too. But the one that always comes to mind, Lucky Cosplay out of Michigan, looks just like him. So
really,
whenever we get together, it's a lot of fun, and we get into character, and we're picking on one another, and Loki will try to grab the hammer, or I'll take the Tesseract away, and it's a lot of fun. And the kids get a kick out of it.
Do you ever do the routine, the get help routine?
All the time. And because of the fact that I'm a big guy and I can usually pick up my Lokis, it's a little bit more believable.
that is probably the line of the podcast. Like, I can pick up my Lokis. It's no big deal. But I mean, honestly, Loki is Loki. I mean, they're literally making a TV show for him.
I'm very excited about that. So that'll be a fun show when that comes out.
Yeah, I know. You said that said earlier on, like, you pattern your Thors after really the interpretation you want to go for. You're not shooting for that movie centric look, but I'm curious, what's your favorite Thor moment? Like, whether it be from the movies or the comics, what to you is that moment where you're like, man, this is my guy?
What I love about Thor in the movies actually is that he had to learn how to be a hero. And I think that really resonates with me. You know, he was an arrogant prince. He didn't know what he was doing at first. I mean, that was the whole storyline of that first movie, and he had to redeem himself basically. And I just think that's really cool because he didn't just, you know, build a suit of armor or get injected with some, you know, fancy steroids to become a hero. He had to learn how to do it, and he had to struggle. So
yeah,
he had all these great powers, and he was given a great weapon and all that, but he had to figure out, you know, what it takes to be a hero, that it takes more than the muscles and it takes more than the hammer. It's what's inside that counts. And I really think that's what resonates with me about the character.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's. I think what a lot of people forget is he's the only Avenger that starts out with powers.
Right.
And then he gets them taken away, and then he has to. Yeah. Honestly, that is a great aspect of this character, is that he can become unworthy of his power.
Exactly, and I know that in I'm not as familiar with his comics. Like I said, I'm still reading them, but I know that he's had a lot of ups and downs in those as well. And I think now he's in the most modern one. He's kind of learning how to be a king and lead the kingdom on his own, which is also interesting because it's another, you know, aspect and another like struggle that he's going through, how to balance all of that. Like, does he really think he's worthy, and is he ready for this and all that? So it's cool. He goes through a lot, and it's always a strong character development with him.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I thank you very much for your time today. I did want to just if you want to plug anything, if you want to throw out your social stuff, or people that may be listening to this should follow. I mean, heck, go for it, man. I'd love to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, first of all, my Instagram is @BecomingThor, so feel free to follow me there.
Follow.
Definitely follow some of my my charity groups too. League of Enchantment out of Michigan is, like I mentioned before, they're fantastic. I'm starting to work with Put on the Cape, which is an awesome organization that deals with children's advocacy groups. And I'm also building my own group here with 3 of my very close friends, and we're calling that Alliance of Legends, but we don't actually have a social media presence for that yet. We're working on it. We're brand new, and it was kind of hard to get that started during the pandemic. But yeah. And if anybody is interested in charity cosplay, please reach out to me, message me. I'm just a person. I know that some people think that I'm this like entity or something. Like, there's a fear of messaging people like that have on Instagram, but I'm happy to talk to anybody. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, if you're listening to this and you've connected with anything this man has said, reach out to him. He's a cool dude. He's been super great to me. And I mean, heck, we just started talking like 2 weeks ago. So man, thank you very much. Go follow @BecomingThor, and you'll be very very inspired, very pleased with how this man brings this character to life. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. We'll see you down the road.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So before we leave you today on Across the Bifrost, our inaugural episode, we have to talk about one thing that is coming up in a matter of days. I feel like so much of the Thor-related Marvel world has been leading up to this Loki Disney Plus series starring Tom Hiddleston. It's going to be awesome, and we've had so many trailers drop for it. So many different promotional materials have come out for it, and I thought before we leave you today, we would preview the show for just a few minutes so that you have a little bit of a primer going in, and then we're actually going to recap every episode over the next 2 months. It's going to be awesome. And I brought in a special guest. Yeah, you heard it right. I have 2 special guests on this first episode. This second special guest is incredibly special to me. She is my wife, my partner in crime, my best friend, and she has a title that I've affectionately given her. She is my nerd queen. So introduce yourself, babe.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm Ryan's wife.
She is super excited to be a part of this. So we're going to listen to the trailer. We're going to play the trailer for you, the last full trailer. And then Kim and I are going to talk through just a few of what we hope this series presents and what we hope to get to see out of Loki from these 6 episodes we get over the summer. So here we go.
I know what this place is. Timekeepers have built quite the circus. And I see the clowns are playing their parts to perfection. Big metaphor guy. I love it. Makes you sound super smart. I am smart. I know. Okay.
Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
This is absurd.
Sign this too.
We protect the proper flow of time. You picked up the Tesseract, breaking reality. I want you to help us fix it. Why me? I need your unique Loki perspective. Do I get a weapon? Yeah.
Believe in this Loki variant?
Luckily, he believes in himself enough for the both of us. Is it adorable that you think you could possibly manipulate me? I'm 10 steps ahead of you. You're not big on trust, are you? You can trust me. Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times. Why never do it again?
The end.
Yeah, that was it's super intense. That's one of the things I just love about it. But so there's a lot to unpack there, a lot that we won't be able to dig super in depth in on this video, but come back for all of our recaps, and we'll get into stuff as the series progresses. But I wanted to ask Kim and myself a few questions just to kind of figure out how we're feeling, how Across the Bifrost is processing this awesome series that we get to experience in just a matter of days and over the summer. It's going to be awesome. And the 2 questions are this. What from these trailers and through the series do you want to know more about? What parts do you want to figure out more details with? And the second question, what do you hope we see from this series? So I'm just gonna throw it to Kim. Babe, what do you want to know more about after seeing the last and final Loki trailer going into the show?
So, I like Doctor Who, and I get major
timey-wimey
wibbly wobbly stuff. Yeah, I get major Doctor Who vibes from the show, which really excites me, and so I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing a different perspective on time travel. Obviously, we've seen stuff in Endgame that they go back and fix all of the timelines. And so this will just be a different side of that and see how Marvel handles time travel, which then leads into, will we see Doctor Strange?
What makes you think that we'll see Stephen Strange in Loki?
Well, time. He has the time stone. He is the keeper of, the protector of the time stone. It feels very fitting for him. We also know Scarlet Witch is making an appearance in the next Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
She is a sorceress. Loki's a sorcerer. I don't know. I'm seeing some connections. I'm seeing some similarities there. So
we've never seen those two characters together. That's one thing.
No, so I think that would be really well. We've seen Doctor Strange and Loki together.
Oh right.
I'm falling for 30 minutes. That
is it's such
classic.
That's such a good part of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to know more about from the trailer specifically?
Okay. So it was not this specific trailer, I don't believe.
Okay.
But it was a clip from another one where he's leaving the plane and he jumps out of the plane and is flying and gets caught up by the Bifrost. Let me tell you, if we see Idris Elba, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, one thing, you'll probably figure this out, this not so subtle fact about Kim throughout this podcast is she is a big Heimdall, Idris Elba fan. Anything Elba, she's all about.
Anything.
It's not up to her elbows.
It's not that subtle, though. I don't know why you said subtle.
No, it's not.
It's not at all.
So Heimdall would be cool. Anything about the Time Variance Authority, because we know Loki is going to be working with Owen Wilson's character Mobius throughout this whole show, and they're working with the Time Variance Authority. Is there anything with that you're wanting to know more about going into the show?
I think just how it's how will the MCU take on time travel? How do they project it, and how do they protect it, and how do they move around it? Like, what is their method?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Because again, we've seen time travel stuff in tons of different media.
Yeah.
So just looking at how Marvel kind of looks at it will be interesting. But also, I think I know this is the other question.
No.
But the thing I'm looking forward to the most is watching Owen Wilson say "wow" in this show.
Yeah. If Owen Wilson doesn't be like, wow, this is wild. Time travel. This is nuts. Like, if we don't get a good wow out of Owen Wilson, I feel like the opportunity...
Table flip, I quit.
Yeah, the opportunity was missed on purpose. It's kind of like how at the end of Infinity War, we almost got the F-bomb from Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, because it's
like,
his thing.
it's their thing. It's the quintessential thing they do. So, for me, I know the things that I want to know more about, there are some connections with... the Timekeepers, the Time Variance Authority, with a character that I really have longed for to see in the MCU, and that's Kang the Conqueror. I highly doubt he'll be in this series, but Kang, if you're unfamiliar with, and you're giving me a look, so Kang is this time-traveling conqueror, as his name suggests. And he's already been confirmed. An actor named Jonathan Majors is going to play him in the third Ant-Man movie. So I wonder if there could be any connections there, because, man, just throughout his history and where the Time Variance Authority is used in comics, Kang is often closely associated.
Let me give you this theory.
Okay,
so we just finished this huge, massive story arc, 23 movies in the MCU, of Thanos being the overarching bad guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
We now have moved into a new phase where time and magic are very prevalent.
Agreed.
Even starting with the last Spider-Man movie and Mysterio
Mysterio,
Yeah, so what if Kang is the new big bad? And everything is leading up to that, with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Obviously, WandaVision was very magic heavy and kind of time too with what she was doing with her powers.
Yeah, especially with the inclusion of the X-Men universe Quicksilver.
Yes.
And bringing Vision back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now with Loki playing Doctor Who, let's just be real, that's what's happening.
First episode of Across the Bifrost, a Thor podcast. There was way too much Doctor Who talk. or not enough.
That's all I could think of when I watched it, was that this is just Marvel's take on Doctor Who. But what if Kang's the new bad guy and there's subtle hints here and there dropped, just like with Thanos, subtle hints were dropped leading up to it, and then it was like, boom, big reveal. Here's Kang. He's awesome. He's bad.
So one other thing that I want to know more about is throughout these trailers, we know that Loki is he's being really coerced into a mission to correct the branches of time that he affected by stealing the Tesseract in the middle of Endgame. So if you haven't looked into maybe some of the details of the trailers, the Loki that is in this show is not the Loki that we know from most of the movies. This is they point this out in the trailer. This is a variant Loki. The main prime storyline Loki is dead. Thanos killed him in Infinity War, and that was rough.
That was the worst.
But what I'm excited to see is how they go about correcting these timelines, because there is a shadowy hooded figure that is working against the Time Variance Authority in these different times they're going to, and we've already seen that there's different versions of Loki that are going to show up. I mean, one of the most prevalent images was President Loki, based off of the Vote for Loki 2016 comic. It'll be really interesting to see if Tom Hiddleston gets to portray multiple versions of Loki. That would be really, really cool.
I think, too, it's going to be super interesting because we're getting 2012 defeated
bad
Loki.
guy Loki.
Yeah.
Not redeemed Loki.
Right. We've lost all that character growth in that story arc for him. And so just seeing, are they going to have him redeem himself again? Or is he just going to stay bad and be forced into helping do good things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also this this is something, so kind of just jumping forward to what we hope for. I really, really hope that in some way this affects Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, I'm not saying that we're gonna Loki's gonna return to the main timeline somehow, but I feel like you can't have a series based on Thor's arguably his most iconic supporting character. You can't have that and not reference him or include him. And I see this Loki series having big implications across the MCU as a whole. A lot of what you said about we are messing with time streams now. Multiple series have messed with it. I feel like Endgame was almost the tester. Mm-hmm. It was the appetizer to this larger world of looking at these different alternative timelines. I mean, anyone who knows the comics at all knows that it's a multiverse of different worlds.
Of madness.
There we go.
Missed opportunity.
Welcome to a Thor podcast with a lot of Doctor Strange.
I like Doctor Strange.
Yes.
The wrong person to have on.
That's what I hope we get. I hope we get to see how Loki in this series affects the larger multiverse. Because I truly do believe that it will.
Oh, it will.
And how will that happen? What are some of the things you really, really hope happen in this series as we get primed for it?
Before I touch on that.
Okay.
I have a thought about what you're saying about Thor: Love and Thunder, and I think Chris Hemsworth just can't handle seeing his brother come back to life again and then die again.
That'd be what, the third time?
Like, don't do it to him. Don't do it. So that's
it would be emotionally jarring.
That's all I have to say about that. Just don't hurt us again.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, don't do it. But things I want to see, I've kind of already talked about, because it's really just, I love seeing how characters interact. And really, the only character that we know going into this will be Loki. Yes, Loki is a super powerhouse, so he is able to carry things himself, and he will be entertaining with other people, but we don't know any of the other supporting cast in the MCU. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of how they play off each other, but I also would love some cameos. I'm all about that.
Yeah, the load is definitely on Tom Hiddleston's shoulders, who I believe he is also a part of the producing group for this show.
That makes sense.
I actually, just realizing today, as of this year, Tom Hiddleston has portrayed this character for 10 years, as has Chris Hemsworth with Thor, a whole decade of Loki. And he's been so iconic throughout his entire run. Such a beloved character. I was
going to say, probably most loved villain.
Tom Hiddleston. I just jump on my Tom Hiddleston soapbox here. I believe he will set himself apart in this series because we're going to see him rub shoulders with, like you said, characters we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen did in WandaVision.
Yeah.
How we didn't know any of those supporting characters yet. We got a Kat Dennings sighting, which was awesome. We got some really cool cameos.
And Randall Park.
And Randall Park, who is awesome in the Ant-Man movies. But this cast is so new to us, and we know Owen Wilson from other movies, but we don't know Mobius from other things.
Right, and even Owen Wilson, I'm a little confused by this role for him.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, is he going to be able to be comedic, or is he playing just the straight, sometimes we'll say something sarcastic, but, that's just going to be interesting for me.
I think we're going to get to see a lot of Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson bantering and going back and forth. I truly do think that Tom Hiddleston will hit a home run. That's not really something I hope for. It's kind of something I just know will happen.
You expect, yeah.
The quality of actor he is, and how much effort he puts into this character that you just see come out on screen. I think this will be the blockbuster show of the summer.
Well, yeah, nothing else is coming out.
I mean, not just on Disney Plus. I just think I think Loki is gonna kind of take over the summer. That may seem like a bold prediction, but
Loki likes to take over things.
He does like to take over things.
Bold.
Yeah. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our preview of Marvel's Loki coming out on Disney Plus in early part of June on the 9th, and we're gonna be talking about this show all summer. June and July are designated Loki times. So if you are enjoying this show, reach out to us on Instagram at Across the Bifrost, and we would love to talk to you about Loki. And remember to rate this podcast, give us 5 stars. That would be awesome. We would appreciate that. And reach out to us on social media. Let us know how we can be just doing a better job here on this podcast. We love Thor. We love his world. And like we've said before, we exist to celebrate and explore his world. Loki is a huge part of his world. So we're going to be covering his show pretty extensively. Kim, do you want to leave the audience with anything today, or have you shot your bolt?
I don't know what that means, but
It's like a crossbow, like the bolt of a crossbow.
It's not called an arrow?
No, it is not.
Okay. I will just say Loki for president.
Loki for president.
2024.
2024. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode. We will see you on Thursday for Throwback Thursday, where we are going to cover some Journey into Mystery. See you then.